Whoa! Where am I? Is this Virtual Salt? Okay, guess it's time to get started. Alright, well, welcome to another episode of Virtual Salt. You know, I think we're missing something. We need a big logo, don't we? I wish we had a logo. Oh, there we go. Hi, logo.
Hi.
Alright, well, let's get... Okay. Let's get started on the drawings. First one, we have Grace Brittle. Well done, Grace. You've done a good job on your drawing this week. Then next up, we have Elise Brittle. Well done, Elise. You girls have always done good jobs on your drawings. You've made it onto Virtual Salt 2 times now. Good job. Then lastly, we have Chloe Eakins' drawing. Well done, Chloe. You've done a picture of the Tower of Babel, which is a building from the Bible. Well done. Alright, now if you didn't get a chance to send in your drawings to see them on Virtual Salt, that's okay. You can send them in for next week. And you send them in to this email here. Send them in and make sure you get them to me, to that email, by next Wednesday. Otherwise, you'll have to miss out for next week. Alright, now it's time for the weather. Over to you, Liam.
Hey Sol, it's me Liam, the new weatherman, and today is quite sunny. As you can see, it's quite windy as well. The wind is coming from the east, the south, just that way, and there's no chance of rain. Unless it does rain, then there is a chance probably. And yeah, that's pretty much it on the weather side of stuff. Over to you, Tameka.
Hey guys, welcome back to Story Time. Today we're reading a story called The Man Who Didn't Have Any Friends. None. The story of Zacchaeus from Luke 19. There was once a man who didn't have any friends. None. Do you have any friends? Well, of course you do. But not Zacchaeus. Poor Zacchaeus didn't have any. You're probably wondering why. Was it because he was so short? That's not really a reason not to like someone. Was it because he had a name that was hard to say? Well, that's not really a reason not to like someone either. Even though he was short and he did have a funny name, that wasn't it. No, people didn't like Zacchaeus because he stole their money. Zacchaeus collected taxes. Taxes were what people had to pay the king. But Zacchaeus took more than he was supposed to and kept the extra money for himself and made himself rich. Everyone knew what he was up to and it made them cross and grumpy. They didn't like Zacchaeus one bit. So they made sure he knew it by doing things like avoiding him and walking on the opposite side of the street and pretending not to see him and whispering things like, "There's that nobody who thinks he's somebody," loud enough so that he could hear. Here's a picture of Zacchaeus coming to collect the taxes. And here's the people who are saying the nasty things and avoiding him and walking on the other side of the street. Anyway, one day a huge crowd gathered by the road. Jesus was coming to their town and everyone wanted to see him. Zacchaeus wanted to see Jesus too, but everyone was too tall. He tried jumping up and down, but that didn't work. He couldn't see a thing. Luckily, Zacchaeus had a good idea. "I'll climb that sycamore tree," he said. So he did. He was surprisingly good at climbing trees for a man who was so unusually short that he had to take a flying leap just to get into his chair in the morning. And here's a picture of Zacchaeus, and you can see just how short he is, stuck behind all the tall people waiting to see Jesus. From the tree, Zacchaeus had the perfect view all the way down the road. Another minute and suddenly Jesus was at the tree. He stopped and looked up. Zacchaeus saw Jesus and Jesus saw Zacchaeus. "Zacchaeus," Jesus said, I'd like to come over to your house. Zacchaeus almost fell out of the tree. Come over to my house? No one ever wanted to come anywhere near his house, let alone inside it. And here's a picture of Zacchaeus in the tree, and there's Jesus asking him to go to his house. The people saw this, and needless to say, it made them even crosser and grumpier than usual. They mumbled and murmured and muttered. Why is Jesus being so kind to that big sinner? Jesus doesn't know about him. Zacchaeus scrambled down and took Jesus to his house. He was in a hurry because he didn't want Jesus to change his mind. Perhaps Jesus hadn't heard about him. Perhaps Jesus didn't know about how he had been stealing and how no one liked him and how he didn't have any friends. But Jesus knew. He knew all about Zacchaeus and the stealing and everything, and he still loved him. Zacchaeus was ashamed. Lord, he said, turning pale, what I've done is wrong, but now I want to do the right thing. I will give the money back to everyone, 4 times what I stole. And that's just what he did. Jesus smiled. My friend, he said, today God has rescued you. Jesus loved Zacchaeus when nobody else did. He was Zacchaeus' friend even when nobody else was. Because Jesus was showing people what God's love was like. His wonderful, never stopping, never giving up, unbreaking, always and forever love. And here we've got a picture of Jesus and Zacchaeus. The end.
Hello viewers, and welcome back once again to your beloved Salty News. I hope you guys have been well and enjoying your school holidays. As you know, I'm your host, Juliet, and as per usual, I will be shortly interviewing this week's guest. Zacchaeus, pleasure to have you.
No problem, Juliet. I'm glad you can make the time for me.
So, Zacchaeus, I hate to be so straightforward, but I heard that you don't have any friends. That's got to be rough. Would you care to explain more about that? You seem like a really nice guy.
Well, Juliet, this wasn't always the case. I was a different person before I met Jesus. I was very greedy and would steal and cheat people. I don't think that helped very much, but at the time I didn't really care because I was rich and that made me happy.
Wow. So you mentioned briefly that this change happened after you met Jesus.
Yeah, he was coming into town and the crowds were gathered around, and I'm too short, so I couldn't see him. I wanted to see Jesus so badly that I climbed up a fig tree. He then came to me and said he was going to be my guest. What an honor.
And what changed in you exactly? What was this new perspective?
Well, I used to be so obsessed and in love with my wealth that I would do anything for it. But when I met Jesus, I realized that he was better than any gold or money or possessions I could ever own.
That is so moving. I understand that this caused you to do something rather dramatic. Why would you give up so much of your wealth? It surely seems to be what everyone wants, and you had that. Would you care to tell your viewers more about this?
Of course, because the wealth that I had didn't matter to me so much anymore. I gave half of everything I owned because I owned too much. I gave to the poor and to the people that needed it most. I even paid all the people I had ever cheated on back 4 times what I took. I was truly sorry for what I had done and wanted to turn it around, and Jesus was worth it all. Having him and his friendship is better than having everything in this world because Jesus is forever and money isn't. The salvation he died to give us is forever, and nothing on earth is better than that.
Incredible, truly incredible. Thank you for speaking with us today and sharing the most amazing treasure of all, that is Jesus Christ. That's all from me, viewers. I hope to see you again next week. Remember to send in your artworks and any questions that you have for us at Salty HQ, as we can't wait to see them. We'll see you next time with some more Salty News.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. That's it for this week on Virtual Salt. We'll see you next week. Alright, I'm gonna go finish my pizza. See ya. Oh, dang it. Not again. Ugh.